How you guys doing? This is Hybridsteel. Welcome back to another video on this channel. So I want to have a go, well no, I don't want to have a go. I want to talk to you about my experiences of my first ever leaderboard. Currently it is 6 o'clock Sunday night on the 7th of January 2024. So this means for me the leaderboard is finished because my kids have gone to bed. It means I've got stuff to do. Number one, recording this video. Number two, I just want to go through my thoughts of like why I performed the way I did and basically what I learned and how I feel about the game moving forward. So let me just start off. I've been playing Gold Rush since around 2018. It's been a long trip. I've played it on and off season modes and bits and pieces, but not actual like leaderboard mode. And I've come to a conclusion that over my time of playing it, because I've played it for so much, that the game sort of became very sort of stagnant, shall we say. And the reason why I feel this way is because when you're playing on your own, there's nothing really else to do. You dig out a claim, you move on to the next one, you dig out that claim, you move on to the next one, and so on until you dug out Nighthawk and you finally wave that white flag and just go, oh my god, I've finally done it. Leaderboard is a little bit of a different kettle of fish. Not only is it all about speed, but it's also about competing about other people's gold scores, and that's quite good. I think that's why I enjoyed it so much. The reason why I was streaming it so is because I was able to talk to you guys, I was able to sit here and play the game and genuinely just feel like I was sort of just there to have fun. I think that's what annoyed some other people in the leaderboard, but I'll get into that near the end of this video. The reason why I went into leaderboard 30. Number one, because I was sort of getting bored of doing another season of Gold Rush. I got to the end of, I did my hard mode, which I sort of failed at. I did another load and I was spending between sort of like 8 and 10 hours a day sort of like prepping for another video, which is a very long process for a single-handed creator like myself. I'm on my own, I don't have people to do stuff, it's literally just me. So playing a game for like 8 to 10 hours to record an hour video sort of sucks. You know, it's a long process, it's hard to mess around with, it's also hard to sort of keep up with on your own. And over time, you've missed out on other opportunities. Like during this time that I was doing my season mode, I had other games I could have been playing and reviewing and so on and so forth, but I chose to carry on doing Gold Rush. So I did lose out on sort of views from other videos. Again, that's why I was streaming this and not actually doing videos. The other reason why I wanted to go into leaderboard is because I've never had the experience before. I wanted to do this for a long time, but having children, it means that, you know, things have to be taken care of first. I didn't have a lot of free time. Now my kids are in full-time education and I have that sort of like long period of time during the morning to afternoon until they come home. I've got to fill that somehow. Now I know some of you will probably go, well, you can, but I can't. I know. I find myself in a very unique position. I'm a full-time carer for my wife who went through chemo, gastroparesis and other various medical conditions that we are now dealing with. So I'm at home 24/7. My plus side to this means I can become a content creator. I can build videos, I can live stream for X amount of hours and carry on with my day. And I do sympathize for the people who want to do this in life, where they want to sit down and play games all day, but unfortunately, you know, life throws a curveball and sometimes you can't hit it, you strike out and you have to sit on the bench until something else comes along. That's just the joys of life. So, in my unique position, I thought it was an idea that I could sit here and stream playing Gold Rush. So doing sort of like a 5-hour stream in the morning and actually talking to a few people. And then after that stream, I would come offline, deal with my kids, you know, get them home, get them changed, get them dinner, get them to bed. I've got a couple hours in the evening where I can sort of just grind along and play on my own and be happy. That was just how it was. Now this is the reason why I went into leaderboard. I'm able to put in around sort of 10 to 12 hours a day, depending on a good day or bad day, depending on my wife, depending on my kids. I can do a maximum of about 12 hours. So this means I've got a sort of shooting chance into leaderboard and I'm all good. My first sort of week on leaderboard, I was paranoid. And the reason why I was paranoid is even though I'd spoken to people like Old Man Gaming, I'd spoken to a few other like the actual like leaderboard players, there's still these little voices in the back of my head that are like, if you do it like this, you're not gonna win. You're not gonna do it. You need to bring on your capital. You need to milk up your money. And I'm gonna be honest, at that point, like I struggled a little bit at the beginning because I didn't know how much money I could earn to keep things rented. Now, renting a plant at the beginning of the game on leaderboard is key. I saw a lot of people who were like first timers coming in and going, hey, I've just got the mobile wash plant, I'm all good. That's mistake number one. And I learned this because I spoke to people before I went into it. The first thing you should do is basically rent out your wash plant, so you're basically just paying off like a daily subscription to your wash plant. And you will make that money, and it's all good, depending on how much money you're going for. There's two strategies at the beginning. There's T3, which is the more comfortable 20 grand a day route, which is the route I went down. Or there's Tier 4, where you have to be a little bit more, I don't know, you'd have to have a little bit more expertise in the game. So you have to dig a bit faster. You have to actually like put out the numbers a bit more. That's something I couldn't do. In my brain, I'm like, well, it doesn't compute. So I took a little bit longer to get to where I wanted to be. Over my time of sort of like learning that process and going up to Nighthawk and like basically just faffing around for like another couple of days, dealing with like, oh no, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to do because I can't do this because I need this. My brain went into sort of like started to learn mode. I was able to do X, Y, and Z and basically just keep on playing the game. And I was actually getting a little bit faster. During my live streams, I was sort of hitting around 1700 to around 1900 yards of dirt a day, which isn't particularly fast, but that was consecutive, which that was on my streams. When I was coming off, most of the time I was hitting around sort of like 2000 to 2300. So I was gaining speed because I wasn't having to pay attention to chat, which that was where I should have been. If I can sort of hit around 2300 yards a day whilst I'm streaming, that means I'm doing good. I'm able to keep that consistency going whilst being distracted, which is what I wanted to aim for, which is a standard that I would have to learn. So maybe in the next season I go in for, that's where I'm going to be. All in all, as for my first ever season in, I've probably spent about 4 days faffing around, sort of not really understanding what I was doing, taking my time in certain places where I shouldn't have been, and then we had Christmas as well. So all in all, about 8 days of my leaderboard was spent having Christmas and sort of not really understanding what I was doing. You know, it even took me a day to get around to actually collecting all the boxes. So again, I could have done that a little bit faster, things that have been sort of like stuck in my brain of how I should go forward. So moving forward into sort of like season 31 or 32 or wherever I go for, I don't know if I'll compete in the next one. If I do, it'll be another 30 days of streaming, and that's okay for me. If I do go forward, I have a better understanding of what I'm doing now. And I always feel that if you're going to play Gold Rush, and I know it's getting on now, it's an old game and so on and so forth, but I'll talk about that again in a minute. If you're going to play this game and you want to compete in Leaderboard, the best thing you can do really is to play the game to start with. Learn the basics of how to play the game, and then when you go into Leaderboard, rush everything. Learn everything very, very quickly. Go and watch a streamer. Go and watch everything else, or ask questions in the Discord. They do have a Discord. You can go and join it, and you can ask your questions. Or, I mean, if you really, really want to approach this from a long period of time, you can go and watch my entire series. My entire series is up on this channel. You can watch from day one until obviously yesterday when I finished my actual digging, and you'll see the difference in how I was digging over the time of my streams. If you want to watch like an example, go to day one, go to about halfway through the video when I start digging stuff, and then go, oh, this is really slow. And then go to like yesterday's stream, or for you guys it's like the 6th of January, which would be like 1 day to go on the thumbnail. And then you'll see the difference in speed. You'll also see me actually like resetting my claim to prove that I wasn't doing anything like exploitative, which other people do, and I'm going to get into that right now. So coming at this game from a brand new perspective, from a player who's never played this game before, you probably don't know the fact there is an exploit in this game that is a little bit of a grey matter in the game itself. Me personally, I actually don't like anybody who uses it, and I generally think that those people should be banned from the leaderboard. You never know, these things might happen, but you know, that comes down to the developers. Again, when it comes down to Code Horizon, the developers are a new bunch of people. The whole team has been changed, the studio has been changed, and their direction on Gold Rush seems to be more positive. They are genuinely working on it, which is good. It means the updates are going into the game again, and there is talk of DLCs and everything else, which makes me more excited to play this game going forwards, and that is something I'm looking forward to. More stuff would be awesome, more claims would be awesome, and maybe a structured leaderboard that doesn't have any exploits, but we shall see. Now the exploit I'm talking about is something called save scrubbing. And you can see this in other people's streams. If they are people who actually do use this exploit in Leaderboard, what you do is you go into a claim, you dig out as much as you want, and then you save the game. When you've saved the game, you go to reset the claim, and if that claim doesn't fall into a preferred way that you want to dig, you basically reload the save so you don't have to spend any more money. You basically go back to where you were, and then you bankroll it again. You reset, and if it's a good one, it's all good, right? And happy lapping. The way I was doing it is the way that it isn't an exploit. You reset the claim, and if it's not the one you want, you pay another $1 million and reset the claim again, so you don't go back to the save and you don't waste your money. It is an exploit. People know about it. It's been used for the last 30 seasons now. I'm not a big fan of it, and I'm pretty sure that, I mean, if I dig fast enough, you can beat some of these people. It's depending on how much spare time you've got in the day. I know that some of the people in the leaderboard on the top probably use this exploit, and one of them actually did basically own up to like admitting it in my stream. So that went off as evidence to the developers. Just the joys of life. When the developers read your streams and they basically see the problem, then they'll probably work on it. Maybe. I don't know. I'm leaving that up to them. I'm not getting my hands involved in this. The developers read my stream. They came to me and said, this is what we mean by like save scrolling? I said yes, this person openly admitted it, and they'll take it into their own hands. From there, they'll probably investigate the other people in the leaderboard as well. We'll see. I don't know. So as coming from a new player and seeing this exploit is still basically going, it means the old team never really bothered with it. They just left it in. The new people seem a bit more concerned about it, so I don't know if they're going to do anything. I'm not sure. And I'll get into this like with the whole new team thing. The new team of Code Horizon basically took over the game. They've been learning how the game is structured and so on and so forth in the background, and just before Leaderboard 30, the game basically went through a little beta test. The beta test is for optimization and graphical inlays and so on and so forth, and making the game run better for, at the moment, PC, but I'm assuming all these patches will go through to console at some point. After the Leaderboard, there is sort of like messages coming up in Discord. There will be more testing. They even launched a beta, a little sort of ATV 4x4 thing. I wasn't impressed by it, but hey, progress is progress. So with all these new things happening in the background and a new team taking on this game, I can understand where people were concerned before. The old Code Horizon team never really spoke to the people who played the game. They were all a bit secretive, like passing messages under a desk so the teacher never really found out what was going on until the final moments of the day. And then what we're happening now is we're actually seeing a bit more transparency with this team, which means the game is looking a little bit more brighter in the future. I'm hoping it can compete for the future because there are a few other mining games out there, like Out of Ore, which is sort of looking to take the top spot of like one of the best mining games out. So where does this leave me moving forward into Gold Rush? Well, if I wasn't very clear during my streams, I'm probably just going to abandon my normal season modes. Me just playing the game and plodding along, doing 10-hour like stints just for an hour video is a little bit sort of backwards for me. Especially when the fact that I've got more things to do now, and unfortunately this just means I've got more stuff to do. It's going to take up a lot more time, which is why there's another video coming out in the next week or two about the sort of like concerns of what's going on this channel. More about that in the video coming. Keep your eyes out if you're really interested. Now, when it comes to me playing Gold Rush, I will choose. If I want to go into season 31 or 32 or whatever's coming on in the horizon, then I will look into it. You know, if I decide, hey, I'm going to do this, that's 30 days worth of streaming, and I will probably do it because I've got the time in the mornings. Kids full time, it's all good, and this is where I wanted to be. I wanted to have like this sort of like full-time streamy thing going on, but at the moment I seem to be earning about the same amount as a Chinese sweatshop worker, but we'll, you know, it's all fun and games. Don't forget, if you are enjoying this, hit the like, subscribe and notification button below. It does help. So, season mode for me is an open thing. It's if I want to do it, I'll do it. If I don't, I don't. I'm not really going to sort of like waste my time if I feel like I don't want to do it. But if I do want to do it, I'm just there for fun. I don't really care about getting into the top spots, but the way that I was going and the way that I was learning, I saw a progression of how fast I was going. And I finished the season at 91,000 ounces. So I was almost competing into like the bottom of the top 10, which isn't that bad for somebody who's only just started playing the game as a leaderboard player. So you never know, next year, or next season, sorry, I might be 150,000 ounces. And I sort of predict that to be about my speed, unless I sort of like work on something else. I have got a couple of other things in the background of things I could try from another player who does play the game, or used to play the game. But I shall look into the future of like how that would work out for me, and does it suit the way I play the game. We'll figure that out as well. Now, I do know that people are probably going to get down on their keyboards. They're probably going to be banging away on their keyboard. Ooh, save scrubbing's been in the game since forever. Everyone uses it. Actually, not everyone uses it. I know a select few that do, and I do hope that Code Horizon do take their sort of like, I don't know, I hope they sort of make an example of these people and take them away from the leaderboard, but we shall see. I have had these conversations with people in my comments before about it, and they're like, well, it's always been there, you should use it as well. I was like, I don't want to use it. I don't want to be seen as a cheater. I don't want to be seen as somebody who is basically just going to stoop to the lowest parts of the barrel just to try and win a computer game. I was literally in this leaderboard to have fun and to enjoy it, and to basically just have fun with the game again. Because the problem with playing this game for as long as I have, it gets a bit boring. Now, as said, I've been playing this game since 2018. I've spent a fair few years not playing this game because nothing was ever changing. And weirdly, the year I decide, hey, this might be my last playthrough, then I start noticing things changing in the game, and people start talking about it again. So, I don't know, maybe it was fate. Even though I'm not really a believer in fate, it just seems a bit weird with the timings. I start playing a game again because I haven't played it for so long, and all of a sudden there's these new things happening in the background. Very, very strange, but you know, I'll call it what you think it is. So, I enjoyed myself in the actual like leaderboard itself. I had some healthy competition from a couple of the people who were in it, like one of my friends, Gadfield. He's one of my subscribers, and actually I talked to him in my Discord and he sent me messages, and it's all good. It's always nice to have somebody there who's just doing it for laughs as well. The guy's got a full-time job and everything, and he was able to keep up with me, so I know how slow I'm going. If somebody who isn't at their computer for like 12 hours a day is almost beating me, then he can, yeah, I need to basically buck up the way I play the game. So we'll see. We'll move forward and go from there. It's been fun. I've enjoyed myself, and I hope for all those people that did kick around in my live stream and actually had a chat with me at the time and basically just came in to see what it was all about, I hope you enjoyed yourself as well. Because at the end of the day, you chatting away in the chat boxes and keeping me company is actually part of the reason why I went back to playing Gold Rush. Because of that interaction. Being able to talk to you whilst I'm enjoying myself, whilst you're having a chat with me, that's like the best possible outcome I could have come from. And I know it sort of probably annoyed some people on the leaderboard. It's like, oh, he's trying to compete. It's like, I wasn't trying to compete. If I was trying to compete, I'd have got more than 91,000 ounces. But I didn't. I wanted to just play it. I wanted to have fun. And that's what I did. So, another leaderboard in the future? Yeah, it could happen. I'm not really going to be worried about when I do it. But, yeah, I can see another one or two, or however many I do. But I do have other things to do, so I'm going to start prepping for bits and doing this and that and the other. And if I do decide to stream like leaderboard again, then I've got to cover my arse in other ways so I can keep other people happy doing my other project as well. It's going to be a fun 2024, let's put it that way. Anyways, I'd love to hear your comments down in the below this. If you do have anything to say, if you just want to say hello, you can do. I will put, if I hit the like button and you get a little heart next to it, means I read your comment, and that basically just shows that I am actually listening to you. I am reading all your comments, and if you never got a little heart icon from me, then I missed your comment. I'm very sorry, but I will get round to it. It's just me here. I have to do all of this myself. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts of what you thought about me going through all this and how you think it all went and what your concerns are when it comes to like the leaderboard or anything, anywhere. It'd just be nice just to have that conversation sometime. So until my next video, live stream or whatever else I do over here, this has been Hybridsteel, and I'll see you all later. I'm going to say peace out, have fun, enjoy everything you guys do. And don't forget, I know it's really annoying that lots and lots of us YouTubers and Twitch streamers and everyone else turn around and say, hey, hit the like, subscribe and notification button below. But it's just literally just the way that we know that people are out there to support us. You can become a member. You can buy some Hybridsteel merch. It's all in the links to the description. I'll let you go from there. Until then, bye-bye for now.